I don't know if you can relate. When somebody wants to crawl under my skin, when somebody wants to upset me, one of the best ways they could speak down at me, speak down to me, or speak at me is to call me one word. Call me one word. And I don't know if you can relate, if there's like a word that just gets into your heart and soul. But maybe it's just because I'm a short guy and I've grown up my entire life being short. And so, you know, the big, tall guys have like looked down at me. But if people call me the buddy word, the buddy word, it just, there's something inside of my body that wants to fight. And I don't fight because typically they're like 6 feet taller. And this is not like Buddy the Elf, you know, kind of thing. Because Buddy the Elf is pretty awesome.
And he's tall.
And he's tall. But here's what I know about words. People who say that words don't matter, they are absolutely crazy. Because words have the power to bring life to you, or they have the power to destroy you. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're going to talk about today on episode number 3. Well, welcome to the Speak with People podcast. My name is Jason Rates. I am your host, and I'm joined today by a very special co-host, Rebecca Rates.
Hello. Or you can call me Becca.
Oh, would you rather Becca?
I usually go by Becca. At school, I would always go by Rebecca because it was easier, or at work, but I usually go by Becca.
How often do you get the, Rebecca, Rebecca?
All the time.
It's most of your life.
I always have to spell it. If I don't spell it, people always do Becca or sometimes CKA. Leave the H out.
So if you booked a plane ticket, and someone spelled it Becca, you're in trouble.
Yeah, because that doesn't match my ID at all.
Doesn't at all. Well, thank you for joining me today. Could you just, like in a nutshell, tell us a little about yourself? What has brought you to this place?
What has brought me to this place? Well, Jason is my father.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
You are child number 1.
I am child number 1, the oldest
You're the oldest.
5. You have a lot of kids.
I do have a lot of children.
I am a recent college graduate. I have
Congrats.
My bachelor's of science in psychology.
Wow. It did not take you as long as it took your dad to graduate college.
4 years, the typical for me.
8 years for your dad. And I'm not a doctor.
No.
I'm not a doctor. I should be a doctor with as much school as I went to.
Yeah.
But here we are.
So
bachelor's of psychology. That's why I wanted you to be my co-host today, because you can speak into the psychological workings of words.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
You're not a doctor. You're not a PhD.
Not a professional.
But you have watched some Netflix, so you have some ideas.
Docu-series up the wazoo.
Okay, so a few housekeeping before we hop into this episode. I just want to take a second, thank our sponsors. AFC Richmond, best of luck this upcoming season. Thank you for sponsoring us. Best of luck to Coach Lasso and Coach Beard in the upcoming season.
We love those two.
We love them. Rebecca, all those guys, hope we do well. But on a serious note, we do want to thank Click It Media. Click It Media without them, the Speak with People podcast would not happen. And so clickitmediainc.com, digital marketing to connect your audience with the right message. They're absolutely incredible. So thank you. Mm-hmm. And then also some housekeeping. We are launching a conference in March called the Speakers Conference. Very, very soon, thespeakersconference.com will be live. And you'll be able to go and find out more about that. But I'm not going to say too much other than if you're someone who stands in front of people and communicates, whether you give presentations, you're a speaker from a stage, you're an influencer behind a screen, you know that we live in a world where distractions are an all-time high, and we're fighting for our message to be heard. The Speakers Conference will teach you a pathway that will help you become a more effective, authentic, empathetic, and captivating speaker. And really what we hope is our time together will help you to grow and will help you learn how to communicate in such a way that your audience will lean in. The really cool thing about this, hosting in Clearwater Beach.
Clearwater.
Unbelievable. I think people are probably going to skip the sessions because they'll be on the ocean.
Because it's right on the beach,
It's right on the beach. It's going to be incredible. Also, speakwithpeople.com is live. It is going. And so please go and check that out. Our online cohorts, the registrations are open. There's 3 different cohorts, so you can check all of that kind of stuff out. All right, that's the housekeeping. So let's hop right into this episode. Do words really matter? Do words really matter?
I don't know, do they?
I don't know. We're going to dive into that. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but this could be way too much information, maybe for our listeners, our audience. But because we have the father-daughter dynamic going here, parents, we make mistakes. One poet actually once said, parents just don't understand. But is there a memory that sticks out? This could be cringeworthy, but I'm okay with it. Is there a moment that sticks out where you really felt like through the course of your childhood, there's that moment that the time where your dad really screwed up with words, like said something to you or used words in a way that, like, for whatever reason, has still hung around your soul? Ooh, this could be rough. I'm okay with it. I'm going to take a drink from my Speak with People mug while I listen.
I don't know if there's like a specific moment that like comes to mind. I think we're very similar with how we argue when we get upset.
Oh.
So I think there's a couple moments where, like, because we both communicate pretty similarly, where maybe I just felt a little dismissed trying to communicate.
Was that last week? Are you talking about last week?
No, I think it was 2 weeks ago. But there's not like a specific moment where I can remember like a specific phrase you said. It's more like that little moment of, oh, do my words really matter?
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Whew. Wow. I got through it. I'm sweating a little bit. Is there something on the flip end?
The flip end.
That you can remember?
I just remember growing up because you would always pick us up from school. You were always very like, how was school today? But whenever we would...
I know where you're going with this.
Do you? Whenever, well, I think what you think I'm going with is whenever we would say, oh, it was good, you would go, you can't use the word good, but you never prefaced when you asked the question that we couldn't say good. So
right.
Then that. But whenever we talked about if we would bring up any like accomplishments or good grades, you would always say, that's so amazing. You did so well. Like, I just remember like those moments of like, you really encouraged us with those.
Awesome. All right. High five. Love it. So here's the thing. Do words really matter? I can go back to when I was 16 years old. I was dating a gal, and, well, I mean, let's be honest. I dated a lot of girls in high school. Actually, just one.
I was going to say, we just remember hearing about one.
Just one. But her dad just did not like me. And I don't know why. I was a good guy, I think. But at the time, I worked at a restaurant. And I legitimately think he was a upper level business leader for Ford. So he's a very accomplished, very put together business executive, big house. I remember once he did not know I was in the living room. And he was having a conversation with his daughter in the kitchen. And he just lashed out on her about dating Jason.
Oof.
And I can remember sitting there on the couch hearing these words. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he said these words. You need to break up with him because he'll only ever amount to being a grease cook.
Ouch.
And so for the person who says words don't matter, like 16 years old, that was 26, 36, 46, 30 years ago.
Wow.
30 years ago. So words absolutely do matter. And I just want him to know now that I have people who want me to cook for them because my cooking is that good. So, in your face. Anyway.
In your face.
But words matter so much. And so, especially from a faith perspective, especially as someone who, if you have trusted in Jesus, you've given him your life, Scripture is very clear. The path of being a Jesus follower, words matter to God, so we need to choose them wisely. And I'm someone who, I don't know if you can relate, I mess up a lot with my words because I have the mind of a 13-year-old in a 46-year-old body. And sometimes I make inappropriate jokes, or sometimes the humor gets the best with me. Or as good as I think I am with encouraging words, those moments that I'm tired or stressed or weak or not healthy, my negative words are so powerful. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And so one of my absolute favorite Proverbs is Proverbs 10, 11, and 12. And I'll read it from the Message translation. And it says, the mouth of a good person is a deep, life-giving well, but the mouth of the wicked is a dark cave of abuse.
Wow.
And so when I think about speak with or speak at people, when you speak with them, like your words, your mouth, your tongue, what you choose to say, it becomes this life-giving well to people. And on the flip side, when you speak at them, I mean, those words, dark cave of abuse, like that will really put it in perspective of how absolutely powerful words can be. I mean, it's just crazy. I did a little research.
I love research.
My 8 years of college.
Your 8 years of college.
My 8 years of college taught me. That does not include the half of the MBA that I worked on. So I am an MBA. I don't want to say dropout because I didn't drop out. I just put it aside. I put it aside. I'm an MBA.
You put a pin in it.
You
put a pin in it.
I put a pin in the MBA. The research that I did, I mean, basically, like most studies will tell you we speak about 11 million words a year.
That is, wow, that's a lot of words.
11 million. So in a lifetime, conceivable, it's 700 million plus words. So when you think about, do words really matter? Oh my goodness. Like we have this opportunity to speak like life-giving words. Is there anybody you can think of? Like, did anybody come to your mind as you're thinking about like the life-giving well, who is just someone in your life who's been there, who has just spoken those powerful words to you?
Yeah. Some would call her my mentor, or I just call her my friend. But she's been there. She was my small group leader in high school, and then just through the years, we get coffee every week, and she's just always there to encourage me. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
you know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Are you?
I don't want to put her name out there because I don't know if she wants to be in the spotlight.
Because I almost said her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll text her. I'll ask her later.
Okay. Yeah. No. That was such a joy for me as being your dad to see her in your life because I could see how she spoke. Even after she moved, you guys still did coffee over Zoom. She still spoke into you.
Yeah, we do those FaceTime coffee hangouts.
Absolutely. The last episode, the co-host then, you did not co-host that episode, but our co-host, Dennis Poulette, wise man, he said, words can dismantle someone's day. And I still, but for a couple weeks now, I've been thinking about that. Do my words dismantle someone's day? I mean, there's so many powerful word choices that can either interrupt or propel someone's day. It's just crazy powerful.
Yeah.
So for me, that guy who looked down at me and called me buddy, or that moment in high school where, you know, someone referred to me in that negative way, like they really do stick with you. My grandma, one of my grandmas, you didn't meet either of my grandmas.
I didn't meet either of your grandmas.
So Grandma Ball, she was like 4'4", 4'6". No offense, she's a little rounder woman. She baked a lot in the kitchen, and so when you hugged her, she had like kind of Crisco on her all the time. So you'd go to hug her, and you just slide down as like Grandma, like this is crazy. But she was amazing. I grew up in Detroit, and so our neighborhoods were blocks, and so she would just come on her front porch, and all the houses were like right next to each other, and she'd just start screaming, Jason, lunch is ready. And so she'd make me lunch, and I'd walk up to her house, and she had an organ, and she'd be playing the organ and singing. You could hear her from afar. I think back to my childhood with her, and she would encourage me in such, incredibly powerful ways that I know that's not the norm for people. Like they don't have those family members or friends. I mean, the same way with my parents. Like my mom never put a cap on what I could accomplish or my ideas or dreams. Like she was just always pushing me. And my parents, so totally opposite. Mom is the like, go, get it done. Dad's like the quieter, let's hang the course.
Which is funny because you're very go like your mom, and then my mom is very quiet, go the course, kind of opposite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But either of those personalities, you remember the words that they speak because they have such power. I want to read another verse. It's a bit of a couple verses from the book of James, chapter 3, 3-10. And from the Message, it actually says this: a bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets the course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. I mean, time and time again through Scripture, like God is saying our words matter. Our words absolutely matter. I mean, I think so much about all the interactions with Jesus. And it's crazy that he was asked, most of the research I've done, what I can see is he was asked about 180 plus questions. And so people were coming to him. They wanted to hear him. They wanted to tell us, because his teaching was so different. It brought life. His words were so powerful. And yet of all those 180 questions, from what I can tell from the research I've done in Scripture, he only answered 3 of them.
Wow.
He only answered 3 of them. But the crazy thing is, Jesus asked more than 300 questions to people. So he just continued to listen and ask questions and get to the heart of it. Is there a teacher or is there a professor, someone in your life who just modeled that for you?
I have quite a few. I think the most memorable would either be my 11th grade English teacher or my professor who taught my systems of therapy class. Because therapy, in that class, you ask a lot of questions. It's not a lot of advice giving. It's a lot of asking questions to get someone to reflect back on themselves. So he taught that way. You'd ask him a question and he would ask it back. Well, how do you think? How do you, how would you, ask that?
Right.
So that was very it gets you thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing about counseling. I mean, it really is. And I have sat on my counselor's
Really
couch.
makes you think, and it really makes you do the work.
It really frustrates you because it's almost like they're trying to get to your heart and soul about an issue.
Yeah. Trying to make you realize what's going on instead of, shutting off.
Just telling you. But I love that part. I mean, there are sometimes I walk out of my counselor's office and I'm like, oh my goodness, why didn't I see that?
Yeah.
She asked me one question. And then
it's everything changes and you're like, oh.
And I'm a crying mess on the couch and I'm, why God? Why didn't I see it? Weeks of torment or thoughts.
Yeah.
But those questions are so powerful. So as we realize that words matter and we choose them, maybe sometimes with that in the relationships in our lives, we just need to be quiet and listen and ask really good questions when it comes to words.
Yeah.
I love the process of question asking. When I was 18 years old, I don't know if I'd ever read a book. I know. Because you only know Dad who reads and there's books everywhere.
Yeah. I do remember the story of you using the same book for your book review for 3 years.
Okay, let's go
But
back.
you never, not a book.
Maybe this is too much information for our listening audience because we want them to think that I'm, pretty legitimate. But it was 4 years, and the book was called Red Dog. And I used the same book and book report for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. And it was the same school. It was this little Lutheran school, a one-hallway school, Atonement Lutheran School. No, it was 2 schools because I went to Atonement for 2 years and then Fairleigh Christian, so I got to split up the schools.
I'm just impressed that you got away with it for that long.
It was awesome. That was the same paper too. My parents came home. Sorry. I hate when I make myself laugh because that's really lame. But my parents came home from a parent-teacher conference, and they're like, can you explain this? And they hand me my book report. And I'm like, that's my book report, Red Dog. It's amazing. But my mom then points to the bottom of the paper, and she's like, no, can you explain this? And I was like, what? It's the bottom of the paper. She's like, Jason, you cut off 3 inches from the bottom of the paper. And I was like, I was being creative. I was being an entrepreneur.
So you just cut the bottom of the paper off because it wasn't long enough?
It was, yes, the book report had to be 1 page. So I couldn't fill it, so I cut off the bottom 3 inches.
Wow.
And then I used the same book report for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, till when I was finally caught in 8th grade by Miss, I can't remember her name. She was a former Air Force lieutenant. Oh, what's her name? Fairlane Christian School. But she finally caught me. And my parents came over from the parent-teacher conference, and she was like, this is unacceptable. You can't do this kind of thing. And then the story just unraveled that I still have the Red Dog book.
Oh
I still have the Red Dog book. The story unraveled that I used the same book report all those years. So pretty amazing. I don't know what got us to that point. Why we
because
shared
you
that
had
story.
said that you hadn't really read a book.
Yes.
Until 18.
Thank
and
you
then
very
I
much
was like,
coming back around.
I do remember that.
So I was
There you go.
18 years old. I don't even remember who it was. Handed me Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I read that book for the very first time. And it just like, the neurons in my brain. Are there neurons in your brain?
Yes.
The neurons in my brain were like exfoliating. Is that the wrong word?
That's probably not the right word.
Synapsing. Anyways,
Closer.
They were popping because all of my passions around connecting with people started to come into existence. And Dale Carnegie basically just quoted scripture. I mean, so many times scripture talks about caring for people and being kind and loving them and being patient with them. And it was the same kind of thing. And that kind of set my course for how I wanted to connect with people. And that taught me so much at 18 years old to be able to sit down with people and connect with them till this day. I think I used the same pattern. I mean, how many times I have emailed someone and said, hey, I would love to get together for coffee. And then I show up and I have my water bottle because I don't drink coffee. It's kind of lame. But I try to ask questions and listen. And I try to catch myself because there's when you're connecting one-on-one with somebody, there's a great rule. And that's the 80-20 rule where you should try to only speak 20% of the time and listen 80% of the time. Same kind of thing in small groups. If you're a small group leader, it's just a great principle to be able to handle. But I think that's what we see Jesus so often when all these questions are being thrown at him. And he listened, he processed, and then he just threw out only a couple of really great questions. And so we've got to be, if our words are going to matter and we're going to speak words that are life-giving wells to people, we've got to be patient and listen and not just talk all of the time. Even though we've got 11 million words to share a year, like we've got to be cautious with those words. And I think like if we actually put on our cell phone the background, Proverbs 10, 11, and 12, the mouth of a good person is a deep life-giving well, but the mouth of the wicked is a dark cave of abuse. I mean, imagine every time before we wanted to say something, you got into an argument with, a coworker, you got into an argument with a spouse or a sibling or a neighbor, and before you lash out, you looked at that and went, oh, goodness, am I about to speak words from a life-giving well or a dark cave of abuse? I mean, Proverbs 18:21 also says, words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit, you choose. So what words? We're going to mess up. Like I could give you right now 100 different examples of times that I've messed up with my words.
Hundreds? Thousands?
Oh, wow. Wow. Yes. So here's the thing. If you have been living a pattern of using words that come from a dark cave of abuse or using words that bring pain or dismantle someone's day and you want to change, like today is the day to make a decision to change. And maybe you don't even realize it. Like this is the power between speaking with and speaking at someone. Go back to the last episode, we talked all about the with or the at. Like really dive into how important that with or at is. Because to speak with people or speak at them, I really believe is the foundation of healthy communication. And my hope is through Speak With People that we really elevate the importance of healthy communication. In these type of relationships, you and I just sitting across the table, hanging out together, talking in the microphones.
Chilling.
Just chilling. On a team, when we're doing team things together, from a stage or from behind a screen, we can do this. And so if you've been living a pattern of using those kind of words today, the good news is today you can decide to stop. You can ask forgiveness from God. You can then do a inventory of, and this is painful, the people that you have possibly hurt and need to go back to and forgive them and ask their forgiveness. Ask their forgiveness. And realize that relationship might not ever be the same, but you can at least do that hard work and rely on the healing that God will bring and do those. Or maybe you've just been kind of calm, kind of quiet, and you think to yourself, and I think a lot of people get into this trap. They think, my words really don't matter. What does it matter if I encourage my neighbor today? Or what does it matter if before my spouse leaves, I encourage them? Or what does it matter if I talk to my kids on the way home from school or not? It matters because people are so valuable, and we can show them and love them and lift up their worth by speaking these powerful words into their life. So I just want to finish our time by maybe giving a few examples of how you can choose to speak words. First example, especially if you're a follower of Jesus, you have the Holy Spirit that lives inside of you. The Holy Spirit will give you nudges throughout the day to speak encouraging words. Do it. Just do it. Like, if you feel that nudge, there's somebody there, and you're like, I should tell that person how much they mean to me. I probably think more times than not, you don't, because you're like, they know how much they mean to me. No, do it. Tell them. Share it. Send the text. Call. Write a card. Send an email. Whatever it has to be. Carrier pigeon. Send the raven out. Whatever you got to do. Encourage them. And then 2, even do an inventory. Get out an old school journal or a note on your computer and make a list of people that you're going to start encouraging. Start with circles. The smallest circle is people closest to you. The bigger circle. And today, because words matter to God, choose them wisely. Begin to speak life-filling, encouraging words to the people around you. Whew! That's huge. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing, especially if we did that, we lived that out. And so that's our encouragement to you for this episode. Speak with people. Speak with them, not at them. Speak with them, not at them. Your words matter. And so I would go back and especially read Proverbs 10, 11, and 12 and think about that as you're going to do that. Can't thank you enough for being a part of the Speak with People podcast family. If you're listening,
calling it the family?
We're calling it the family.
All right.
If you're listening, if you're enjoying it, would you please consider subscribing, leaving a review, and then maybe sending it to 5 friends.
5 friends.
Just take the link and text some friends and be a part of it. You can email it. You can do all those things.
Show them.
You can show them. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to talking about speaking with people, not at them, in our next episode. Thanks.